Danny Boyle returns to his virus-infected world with 28 years later, and he's introduced some bold new styles into his iconic freneticism. So who's ready for some rageful madness? The movie starts off with a wildly intense moment during the initial outbreak. I mean, it's harrowing, and it can certainly get your heart racing. Then we jump to the present and are introduced to Spike, who's played by Alfie Williams, his dad Jamie, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and his mom Isla, played by Jodie Comer. Now, they live on an isolated island that's connected to the mainland by a causeway that's covered by high tide, making it a somewhat secure location. Now, the prosthetics and the visual effects, they are spectacular in this, especially because we are treated to a kind of freeze frame effect at various moments when an arrow enters a throat or maybe a head. And then we've got the infected themselves. I mean, thanks to this being almost 30 years after the breakout, nature has had a moment or two to begin some changes. And these new visualizations of the infected, they are awesomely envisioned and then disgustingly executed. Now, something I wasn't really expecting in this was the emotional depth of the storytelling. While at its heart, this is a story about family, there's also a touching and meaningful look at life, love, and then obviously death. Now, the softness and the care, it isn't maintained by only a single character either. I mean, we get to see the different aspects from all of our main characters, showcasing different viewpoints, but each effective in their own ways. Even though he's not top billed for the movie, relative newcomer Alfie Williams, who plays Spike, he's a star of this. I mean, the story revolves around Spike and then his unorthodox journey into semi-adulthood. And Williams is excellent in this. I mean, he's believable when he's terrified by oncoming ragers, and then equally as convincing as he chooses to take on a responsibility that may not have been the wisest choice, but was executed out of noble desires. The longing and the sadness we get from his performance, it's palpable. And I appreciate that he's able to emote so well without words. I mean, several scenes call for him to be silent, but still convey tons of meaning. And he accomplishes it expertly, despite his young age. And I think probably the largest criticism I would give for this film, it's the ending. Part of it's touching and it's believable, but then it delves into music video madness only to tie in an idea that was presented earlier in the movie, but mainly forgotten and all but addressed. Now, had this portion been integrated into the ongoing story more, perhaps the ending would have made more sense and then felt as though it belonged. As it stands, though, it was a messy addition that created a bizarre conclusion rather than sticking with the tone that had been established throughout all the rest of the storytelling.